Right, question 8. First things first, use income tax and national insurance 1617 from the preliminary material. That's this page here, income tax, and the national insurance bit is on the next page. And also, we need to go all the way to the bottom because the whole minimum wage business kicks in here, and there's this thing about the living wage, $7.20 per hour. Okay, so we're going to refer to those as we need to, but start, as always, by reading the question. At the start of 2016, okay, that's the year we've got the information for, that's helpful, that matches. Samir is 24 years old, okay. He works 40 hours each week. He's paid the national minimum wage. Before we go any further, let's have a quick look at the preliminary material. 21 years and over, wage per hour, $6.70. Let's just tag that on there, $6.70. Okay, we know that, yeah? He pays tax and national insurance but has no other deductions. Okay, so we have to work out the tax, possibly, and the NI. We get his net pay per week here. That's helpful because obviously we can work that out for ourselves, but we've already got it here, which saves us time. Okay, so what we're going to do now, let's keep reading. The new living wage, national living wage, gives an extra 50p in your pocket per hour, so the government states. In your pocket, that sounds like your take-home pay or your net pay. But Samir says his net pay will be increasing by less than 35 pence per hour. I think the government is talking about, here, they're talking about his gross pay, but somewhat misleadingly, because your gross pay doesn't go in your pocket. Typical political spin there. All right, so let's have a look. Samir says it's going to be less than 35 pence per hour. Well, I reckon it is going to be less than the 50p if we're talking about net. And I'll come on to why in a second, but we need to work out exactly how much it is to see if Samir is right. To do that, we need to refer to this one little bit at the bottom. Workers over 25 get $7.20 per hour. He was on $6.70 before, and he's going up $7.20. Can you see the 50p difference? That's what the government's talking about, but this is gross. This isn't net. Pocket, in your pocket, that sounds like net to me, and I think that's what Samir's commenting on as well. But let's see if that less than 35p is right. Okay, so we've got £6.70 when he's 24, 21 years and over, that includes the 24, and the $7.20 is for over 25 when he turns 25. So let's make a note of that. When he turns 25, it's going to be $7.20. Okay, so I know that he earns that much per week net. Net pay after tax per week, that much. If I work out his new net weekly pay based on this, well then I can compare, I can divide by 40 to get the hourly, and I can compare. Alright, so if he earns, so this is on the living wage, head that as a little title, living wage. And it's the national living wage, there's the real living wage. You can look into that in your own time. All right, so living wage, gross weekly, 40 times 720 equals 288. Cool, all right, so gross per annum, yearly. You should be familiar with that by now. 288 times 52, 14,976. I've already worked these out on the calculator. You can just use your calculator as you go. I'm not that fast. I've got them written on another page just over here. Okay, so income tax per annum. Now let's have a little look at the income tax table. Okay, the first thing is you might think 20% starts from zero, but that's taxable income. And up here it says you got a tax free of 11 grand. So the first 11 grand is tax free. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take his annual gross, 14,976, and I'm going to subtract the 11,000 that's tax free. And then the leftovers, well, there's no way that leftover is going to go past the 20% band. There's not going to be 32,000 left over from 14,000 take away 11,000. So I'm just going to be in this basic category here. I haven't got to worry about the overflow calculations. They're keeping it easy. So I can times that by 0.2. That's the 20%. This is giving me the income tax, not the leftover, the income tax. Okay, so the income tax per annum, when I work all of that out, comes out at £795.20. That is income tax per annum. Again, clear note of that. All right, so if I've got that per annum, income tax weekly is going to be 795.20 divided by 52, and I've already worked this out, it's £15.29. That's how much income tax he will be paying on his new 25-year-old living wage per week. All right, so now we need to think about, because it says income tax and national insurance, so we need to work out how much national insurance they'll be paying. All right, so we could look at the yearly stuff, but I'm going to stick with the weekly stuff there. So 0 and 0 are basically the same, aren't they? From no money up to 112, you pay no tax. And then from 112 to 155, you pay no tax. I'm going to just group them into one big tax-free thing because it's a historical artifact of how it used to be. There used to be like a lower band here, but then they just allowed it and said 0. Okay, so £155 is tax-free, and then anything above that gets 12%, up to 827 a week, and then it spills over and you get a bit of a discount because you paid enough by then. But he doesn't earn 827 a week. He's getting gross weekly 288. So he's going to be sticking in this band here. Okay, so what should we work out? NI per week. It's going to be the 288. We go back to the original gross weekly. We don't take off the income tax and then work it out. The original gross is what both of these are based on. So you're kind of getting taxed twice on the same money. You don't just get the NI applied to the leftovers from the income tax. It's the original amount they both apply to. But I'm going to take off the bit that, what's it called? Your national insurance nil, your allowance effectively for NI. And I'm going to times that by 0.12 because it's 12%, so 0.12. Working that out, I get £15.96. Seeing that for the first time, bit of a coincidence, they're the same, but they are different numbers, just, yeah, don't get confused by those two. Okay, so now we need to look at his net weekly. So that's going to be the £288 he starts off with, minus the income tax, minus the national insurance, and on our calculator that's going to give us £256.75. Okay, now if I want to get that hourly, that's going to be the 256.75 divided by 40, which comes out as £6.42. Now, up here, we saw that his old weekly was 243.15. So that's at the top of the screen there, 243.15. So let's now get the old net hourly. That's 243.15 divided by 40, which comes out as £6.08. Difference equals 642 minus 608, which equals 0.34 pounds or 34 pence. So what does that all mean then? Well, Samir is correct.